What's shaking? My name's Cam, welcome back to another video. I've been gone for about a month. Basically in short, I had a bit of a health thing pop up. I had to get a minor surgery. I am 100% okay. I just needed a bit of time to recover, but I'm back now, so should be back to regular uploads. During the last couple of months, and especially during the last month or so in my recovery time, I've been working really hard on something that I'm very excited to announce. From the title of the video, you can already guess I have a fantasy book that I'm releasing in about 3 or 4 months. So in today's video, I'm going to be telling you the title of the book, I'm going to tell you what it's about, I'm going to show you the cover, I'm very excited for that. I'll give you the release date, basically all of the details in case you're interested, and yeah. Normally I would make these announcement videos for my own writing over on my other YouTube channel. I have one called Cam Wolf is Writing where I do all of my writing videos. This channel here is specifically for reading videos, but I've been talking in a lot of my videos here about me writing books and stuff, so I figured it was about time I did a video here in case you aren't a writer or into writing content, just so you know what's going on. But hey, if you're not interested in my own books, then that's completely fine. I completely understand. Hopefully I'll see you in my next book review video. The purpose of today's video is to mostly tell you about the fantasy book I have coming out, but I'd be an idiot to not also tell you that I also have a book of horror short stories coming out next month in December. It's called Darkest Deepest. Here's the cover for that. It's a collection I've been working on for a really, really long time. It's got 12 stories that I'm extremely proud of. I think they're all pretty creepy in their own different special ways. And the release date for that horror collection is actually only in a couple of weeks. I think it's the 9th of December. So if the ebook pre-order isn't up already, it will be very soon, and the physical book will be available on that release date. Moving on though, before I tell you about the release date and show you the cover for that fantasy book, I want to tell you a little bit what it's about. So a fair while ago, one of my most watched videos on this channel was a video called I Want Fantasy Books to Change, and in that video, I'm really summarizing here, you can watch it if you want, I'll leave a card up here, but basically I said that I think shorter episodic fantasy books, a lot like The Witcher or Dresden Files, are criminally underrated. I know they exist, I know they're out there, but I just don't think there are as many as there could be for the potential that there is for episodic fantasy. And I was actually really surprised by just how many of you in the comments were agreeing and saying that you would love if there was more episodic fantasy. I also mentioned in that video that I'm kind of working on one myself, and that's what this fantasy series is. It's episodic. It's meant to feel like almost like episodes in a TV show, because the thing is, I plan to be releasing these pretty quickly. They will be pretty short, only around 40 to 50,000 words. I guess for some people you would consider that more of a novella, but once that first one releases, my plan is to kind of be releasing one every 2 months after that. I've left myself a good bit of time so that I can get a head start. I don't want to just be giving myself 2 months to write each of these books. I want to at least be 1 book ahead constantly. And the fantasy series itself is called The Saber's Noctum. This series will follow the adventures of 2 sellswords, 2 men who are as close as brothers doing various jobs across this large fictional fantasy world that I've created. It's called Coragrave, and it's a number of different huge continents with a bunch of different cultures and ecoclimates, creatures, monsters, people, races, which is a bit of a mixture of a fantasy, again, a bit like the Witcher world, a very fantasy medieval kind of place, but also mixed with a very early industrial age. So there are pistols and rifles, that kind of stuff. And when this series starts, it starts with 2 sellswords that are already pretty accomplished at what they do. They've been doing this for a long time already, so they're already pretty good at taking on threats. But also I wanted to make it very clear when you're reading these books that these aren't the paragons of moral virtue. They're not your typical heroes. I'm not saying I'm the first one to ever do anti-heroes. I know anti-heroes is actually a huge trend at the moment, but something you should understand from the start is that these guys are mostly out for the money. They're not evil, but they also won't go out of their way to risk their lives if they aren't getting paid well to do it. So they take on contracts and jobs for people that need something done that most people wouldn't do, either because it's too dangerous or maybe because it's a bit outside of the law. They won't just be hunting monsters in these books, that will be a large part of it, but they'll also be doing a lot of other kind of stuff that most people in this world just wouldn't want to get their hands dirty with. Like, for example, I have one planned to be a big heist. And while these stories will be short and episodic, I am also going to be having a kind of major plot line that ties them together in, I guess, arcs, or if you want to use the TV analogy, seasons. My goal with this series is to kind of pay tribute to the older, more serialized styles of fantasy storytelling. I love it. It's my favorite type of fantasy storytelling. As much as I love the big epics, I just always think there's so much underutilized potential in telling stories where it's just self-contained fun. And that's a huge thing I want to do with this series. I want the stories to be fun. They're not going to be goofy to the point of being like satire or just straight out comedy, but also I want to go into storylines that are wildly fantastical, stuff that just wouldn't happen in the real world. So that brings me to telling you about book 1 in the Saber's Nocturne, titled Blood for Coins, and it looks like this. Now, I don't want to tell you too much about the story off the bat at the risk of spoiling some of the mystery with the first book in a fantasy series, but what I will tell you is that it starts with one of our sellswords being imprisoned in the most notorious prison within all of Coragrave. They've been split up for quite a long time at this point, so before we can get into their adventures, we have to start with a jailbreak. Blood for Coins is going to throw you headfirst into the world of Coragrave. It's going to show you just how dangerous this world can be and how ruthless the people within it are. And it's going to set the stage for our sellswords trying to get back to what they do best while being hunted by some of the most dangerous people in existence. Our sellswords, Enzo and Rascal, are going to find out very quickly that the people who run that prison aren't okay with people just escaping. For the time being, our sellswords are going to take refuge in a nearby town, but what they're going to find out is that this town is holding a mystery of its own. Something very big is happening there, and while they're just trying to escape and get to freedom, they're going to find themselves headfirst right in the middle of it. That's a bit of a summary for Blood for Coins, the first book in the Saber's Nocturne. I'm very excited about it. I've gotten some pretty good feedback from the beta readers. I've never really been great at summarizing my own writing, so hopefully everything I've told you so far gets you at least a little bit excited. Hopefully it gives you the information you need to be interested. I'm also not great with tooting my own horn, but I have to say here that this is probably one of the most exciting stories that I've written. Exciting for me. I'm very, very passionate about it, and my plan here is to be able to write these books indefinitely, pretty much until I decide I'm done with them. Like I said, it's episodic. It will be like episodes within a TV show, within seasons. There will be major plot lines, and maybe those seasons will tie into even bigger, more major plot lines. But for the first time ever, I started writing this without a big plan for how the series will end, because I don't know how it will end. I don't know when it will end. It could be in 10 years if it goes well enough. With all that said, I think that's all you really need to know about the story itself. As for the release date, at the moment it's looking like it's going to be the 16th of February. So about 3 months from now, it's going to be ebook, paperback, and I am also working on getting an audiobook done. Audiobooks are extremely expensive in the scope of self-publishing, so it's a really tricky thing. I really do have to dig pretty deep into the savings to get this done, but I want to do it. I want to have an audiobook for at least the first book in this series. And depending how well that goes, maybe there'll be an audiobook for the next one as well. That's all I really have to say about this fantasy book and the horror book of short stories for now, but I will be talking about it a lot more leading up to the releases of both of those books. If you have any questions for me, I would love to see them in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the cover. I think it looks incredible. It's kind of funny because I'll show you the sketch I sent to the artist before he came back with this, finished result, and you'll see pretty much how it goes from inception to the finalized product. I'm obviously not much of an artist myself, as you can see, but yeah, I think in the end it turned out exactly how I wanted it to. I am very, very excited. I think this series could be the start of something really special. Again, I'm not great at tooting my own horn, but I really am proud of, at the very least, the first book in this series. I think it's pretty good. I make a lot of comparisons between it and, you know, The Witcher, because The Witcher was a huge inspiration for me, but I do think it is very unique. I think it sets its own tone that sets it well apart from being like a Witcher clone, you know what I mean? The way I've been kind of describing it to people is like The Witcher meets Supernatural meets maybe Red Dead Redemption. Anyway, thanks for watching, especially for watching through the whole video, especially for watching this video. I really appreciate it. It does mean a lot to me. I'll have another video coming very soon, which will be a book review, discussion, video essay kind of, you know my style, for someone else's book, not mine. But in the meantime, thank you again, happy reading, and see you in the next one. Catch ya.